Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson kicking things off for the Europe team as they come in with the lead. 3 points to the winner of this event, 2 for second, 1 for third, and none for fourth, and no problem for Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson. Now remember, there's a 30-second window for them to lift. So if they hit one, doesn't mean they can't make another attempt, and that's exactly what Bjorgvin's doing.
So 245 into 255. Take it back 2 years. He opened with 261, missed every single attempt. So he's being much more conservative this year.
Brent Fikowski at 275 pounds. And that'll count. A huge opener for Brent Fikowski.
That's going to be great for Canada, but also for the United States, because Canada has two guys that are pretty darn good at lifting, where the Pacific is going to have a little bit of issue with these lifts relative to the other three teams.
Rob Forte up next for the Pacific team here in round number 1. 2 attempts, so 2 30-second windows for each team. This is the first for Rob Forte at 255. No problem for Rob Forte. Chad McKay asking him if he wants to make another attempt at a heavier weight. And Forte is going to do it. And that will count for Rob Forte at 260 pounds. And now Ben Smith to close things out for the United States at 255 pounds.
Now, we saw him do this in practice a couple days ago, and he actually had some trouble with this. The question mark was Ben's back after the first event. Looked good on the pig flips. Usually, when Ben's 100%, we kind of just kick our feet back and say, well, we'll just watch the United States win this event. So this is great, not only for Ben that he looks great, phenomenal lifts, back to old Ben Smith, but he's also going last. So he has the option to watch every single athlete go one more time through to see what he needs to put on the bar.
1 minute reset before we start round 2. Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson kick things off. No problem there for Gudmundsson. And then 275 for Brent Fikowski. That was a little bit of a shock.
Well, Fikowski actually has a one-rep list of 290. So someone who had a huge strength deficiency, not in this particular lift.
And Rob Forte hit his first attempt, added some weight, and then made the second attempt. And then Ben Smith, talk about pressure, made that one look easy as he hit 262 pounds. But it's Canada with the lead, and Ben Smith now will sit and watch, and he will lift last in round 2. Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson for the Europeans, the team that currently leads in the overall standings at 265 pounds. That one is good for Gudmundsson. Still plenty of time. He has added some weight. Make one more attempt. And Bjorgvin Gudmundsson will hit that lift at 275 pounds, tying in with Brent Fikowski, who's trying to get this crowd behind him at 285. Wow. And Fikowski is picture perfect. And he's going to go for even more.
That should be 280 or 290 on the bar, was his previous PR, and I think Gudmundsson put 2.5s on. So Gudmundsson's number should actually be 270, just looking what he has on the bar right now. So I think it's 270 for Europe. So 5 pounds behind Canada. Now Gudmundsson Fikowski with 285. Now this is big for the Pacific. Now for Rob, he has to be a little bit more patient on the pull. You got to get as tall as you can, pull it as high as you can. The problem is it feels so heavy off the floor, you get a little timid at the top.
Chad McKay on the right, the Pacific coach, was letting Rob know how much time he had, so Forte is going to have to settle for 270. Now Ben Smith at 277 pounds. And that is no problem for Ben Smith.
Through 10s on, so that'll be 287. That will put him 2 pounds ahead. 10 total pounds.
Smith can't hit that, but the United States still in very good position here as Ben Smith will turn things over to Rich Froning in the United States now, just 8 pounds behind Canada. The good news, though, for the Americans is that they're ahead of the Pacific and the Europe team. The two teams that they are chasing in the overall standings. Norman Carl Gudmundsson kicked things off extremely well there in round number 2.
That's exactly what the United States needed, sitting in that third place position. And nice to see Canada finally step up and challenge these other teams on the board. And who other than Brent Fikowski putting up 285.
And tried again and then got it to his thighs and said, that's not going to happen. Rob Forte missed his 2 lifts that he attempted in round number 2, but Forte and the Pacific team still in good shape. 1 lift to go. And then Ben Smith, boy, no questions about the back after that.
I'll tell you what, that's a sigh of relief if you're a fan of the United States, how easy that looked.
Heading into the clean and jerk, it's the Canada team with the lead, 285 pounds, the United States in second. Europe 2 pounds behind them, and then the Pacific team at 260. And now Rich Froning, who can lock up an event win for the Americans. 3 points are on the line. He will be joined by Patrick Vellner for Canada, James Newberry for the Pacific team, and Lucas Hogberg for the Europeans. And Rich Froning is a man who can put up some huge numbers. His personal best is 380 pounds. Now Lucas Hogberg will be on the floor for the Europeans, and the Americans need to make up ground on both the Europeans and the Pacific team.
What's good for Lucas is that he's been in this position before. 2 years ago in 2014, he was doing clean and jerk for the European, where he put up 345 that time.
For the Pacific team and James Newberry, it's now about damage control, as they are only 3 points out of first place. 2 events remain after this. 3 points go to the winner of this event. 3 points go to the winner of the handstand walk that's coming up next, and then 8 points go to the winner of the 7th and final event. So if Newberry can keep Pacific close, they have a chance going into the final event. Canada desperately needs a win, so the pressure is on that man, Patrick Vellner, who finished 3rd at the 2016 Reebok CrossFit Games in his rookie year. Canada will be up first, meaning the Europeans will be the last team to lift.
It's a major advantage for the European team, who's holding on to that first place position.
And Patrick Vellner and Brent Fikowski trying to fire up the crowd. As Canada comes in with the lead thanks to Brent Fikowski's 285-pound lift. No problem for Patrick Vellner. 335 pounds, so 620 total now for Canada. James Newberry from the Pacific team is up next. $315 on the bar for Newberry. Great lift for James Newberry. Oh. And that will count. The judge said he had it stabilized at the top long enough for the rep to count. So Newberry.
The problem for James is that he's in a 28-pound hole already coming into this, and he definitely doesn't have the highest clean and jerk as everybody else.
Rich Froning. No problem for Rich Froning. 355 pounds, and now the United States is in the lead. Lucas Hogberg, the final man to go in round number 1. 340 pounds on the bar for Hogberg.
Now this is what he maxed out at in 2014.
And that'll count for Lucas Hogberg as Europe moves into 3rd place ahead of the Pacific team. Round 1 is over. Brent Fikowski on the left, Patrick Vellner, the man who's on the floor lifting, discussing some strategy before we start round number 2, and Vellner will be up first.
Yeah, but you can't. There's not enough in the tank to try to topple the United States. But what you need to do is to get ahead of the other two teams. Vellner hitting 335 in his opening lift. I tell you what, you talk about crowd helping you out, like Katrin is talking about PRing. How about lifting in front of your hometown crowd in the middle of this competition?
James Newberry, who made his first appearance at the CrossFit Games this year, has looked solid so far. Great lift for him, although he struggled there at the end, and then you know what you're going to get out of this guy.
Now, the most Rich has put up in competition was the Games in 2015 when they had clean and jerk for the teams, where he put up 365.
Froning has the best lift for the clean and jerk so far, and the Americans currently lead. Patrick Vellner up first in round number 2 as Canada needs points. Patrick Vellner giving this crowd something to cheer about as he hits that lift. 355, good for Patrick Vellner. Canada in the lead by 10 pounds now. James Newberry up next for the Pacific team. And James Newberry puts the Pacific team in front.
Now here's the deal. He has to hit this lift if they're going to win it. They're only down by 8.
And Froning, no problem. And when the pressure is on, Rich Froning comes through. 365 pounds. Canada and the United States are tied right now. There is a tiebreaker. We'll get to that in a second. Lucas Holsberg now for Europe, as the Pacific team is going to lock up another event win. The tiebreak goes to the team that has the lowest combined body weight between Canada and the United States.